Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 8 of the NFL. I'm your host, Silvano Science, and this will be my intake of this week's games. We start off with the teams in bye, which will be, as you see, the Atlanta Falcons, the Los Angeles Chargers, Dallas Cowboys, and the Tennessee Titans, which are all teams that are really needed of byes this week due to their injuries or heartbreaking losses that they had. For example, can't forget, what team should I say? The Cowboys. I wonder why. Anyways, let's not forget also the Tennessee Titans, who had a close, coach deciding loss, could say, against Los Angeles Chargers in London last week, just by a two conversion. Atlanta Falcons coming out from a victory over the New York Giants, and Los Angeles Chargers, as I said, winning over the Tennessee Titans last week in London. Shall we begin? Our first game will be the Philadelphia Eagles against Jacksonville Jaguars, 9 a.m. early in London. This will be in Wembley, one of those international games that the commissioner wants to make for football. So, my opinion, the Eagles are a division team with the Redskins. In my opinion, I say that I want to go with Jacksonville. Hopefully their defense could stand up more than the Eagles can, and hopefully Blake Bortles, their quarterback, will not do as much mistakes as they can. I say final score would be 24-21 for that game. Next game will be the Baltimore Ravens against the Carolina Panthers. And as I said, Carolina and Baltimore, both teams could say be considered as playoff teams. And honestly, I think the Ravens will edge out this one after a heartbreaking loss to them just by an extra point against the New Orleans Saints. So I will go with the Ravens taking this one 27-21. Next game, the New York Jets against Chicago Bears. Now, Chicago Bears are a quiet dark horse team, as they say. Their defense is playing really good, and the New York Jets, they are really actually, trying to figure things out with their rookie quarterback, Sam Darnold, and, trying to figure out the offense. But I say the Bears will edge out of this one and will come out the victory with a 31-17 win over the Jets. Next game will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Cincinnati Bengals. And at the beginning of the season, Tampa Bay was rocking and rolling really high in the beginning of the season, going 2-0, but slowly decreased. And, it's just been a crazy roller coaster over the season. Cincinnati has been playing really good, and their defense has been really, mediocre, good at some games, good at the other. But I will give the edge to Cincinnati Bengals. They just a more complete team, more balanced. So, honestly, I'll give the Cincinnati Bengals a close one. I think it will be a 17-16 game. Probably go to overtime, but who knows? I give the edge on the Bengals on this one. Next game will be Seattle Seahawks against the Detroit Lions. Detroit coming off a really good win from last week, and Seattle coming off a well-needed bye. And Seattle is not, the Legion of Boom is done. It's just Russell Wilson trying to figure out how he could make the offense work without the defense trying to put too much work on itself. And the Detroit Lions, under a new head coach and Matthew Stafford finally having a run game, a running back, is finally clicking with the offense. But I think Seattle will come out the winner of this game. The final score will be 28-24. And Seattle will take the victory, as I said. Next game will be a divisional game. Will be the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Broncos really could say have one of the most surprising defenses after, I think, having 3 pick six interceptions against the game of Arizona Cardinals last week. And the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't know what to say. They're really rocking high. They're red hot with their QB, Patrick Mahomes, throwing at least average of 4 touchdowns each game. And if it weren't for, their defense playing against New England Patriots, they would have been undefeated still. So with that, I think that Kansas City's offense it would be too much for Denver's defense, and their offense won't be able to catch up. So I'll give the Chiefs in this one 31-17. Next game will be a game I'll be really paying attention to is the Washington Redskins and New York Giants. Now I see this is gonna be a tough one. I don't know who should I take. Hmm. Just playing. Obviously, I'll be taking the Redskins, although it is a questionable. If I wasn't really a fan, in my perspective, I would still take the Redskins, although they are one of the teams that have been flip flop. They win a game, they lose a game, but after last week, they're winning their first back to back game against the Cowboys. It's another divisional game coming. The Giants aren't playing really good. I'll tell you that. But honestly, I will have to give the Redskins on this one. It will be a 28-17 game. Probably a 10-point game. But who knows? As a fan, I really can't say anything because, that's just how the Redskins are. They win when they need to and they lose when you less expected. Next game will be the Cleveland Browns against the Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers. And I heard that Le'Veon Bell was coming back for this game. And the Cleveland Browns, well, they're different Cleveland Browns. And I'm actually going to go for an upset here. I will go with the Cleveland Browns on this one because Pittsburgh's played with Tyrod Taylor as their quarterback against the Cleveland Browns. And they haven't played against Baker Mayfield, which is now the quarterback of the Browns now. And he gives a really new element to the game. I just see no defense in Pittsburgh, and honestly, I just hope that maybe one, possibly, the long weeks of Le'Veon Bell ain't going to be much up to Pittsburgh, even if he's coming back. So I'm taking, as I said, the Cleveland Browns in an upset here. Probably, I would say, a 28-24 game. 4-point margin difference. Next will be the Indianapolis Colts against the Oakland Raiders. And the Raiders, as a boomer would say from ESPN, aren't just playing too good this year. This year is just not their year. They're just one of the teams that just want to get it all, just want to finish it and, start rebuilding for next year. Because, they got nothing right now. They traded away Amari Cooper to the Cowboys for a first-round pick. So, they're starting to rebuild transition. So with that said, I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts on this one. I'm probably going to say 35-14. It's going to be a bit of a blowout towards the side of Indianapolis Colts. Next game will be the Arizona Cardinals against the San Francisco 49ers. And in my opinion, San Francisco isn't playing that bad without Jimmy Garoppolo as a starting quarterback. Although, they could be doing better, have at least 2 or 3 more wins if they did have him not injured. But, they're kind of surviving there with 2 wins, I think. And this is just going to be a battle of, no offense, but battle of the losers. Because both Arizona isn't doing really good. San Francisco is going through a lot of injuries. But I say I'm going with San Francisco because they have the most talent. And Arizona, then again, they're playing with a rookie quarterback with not much experience. So I will give the San Francisco 49ers a 31-21 win. Next will be the Green Bay Packers against Los Angeles Rams, which will be a primetime game at 4:30. And the Rams, being the only team undefeated now, is really surprising teams. Well, not really, due to their whole overhaul of free agency picks that they got with corners and defense and just reloading. So that way the team could be really balanced both offense and defense. Excuse me. And Green Bay, you just can't leave them as saying, oh, they're going to lose with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is really dangerous, but he needs the help from the defense, and I just don't see that coming with Los Angeles, with their offense being so explosive. It's Todd Gurley, Brandon Cook, and Cooper Kupp. Those trio too much for Green Bay's defense to handle. So with that, I say Los Angeles will win 35 to 28 by a field goal. It won't be a blowout, but it'll be a close game by a field goal. Next will be prime time at night, Sunday night, and it'll be the Minnesota Vikings at the New Orleans Saints, a rematch from last year's divisional playoff game. And this is more like a revenge game for New Orleans Saints, who are coming into this game as potentially the second best in the NFC conference, and Minnesota coming in as to a question mark team, thinking that, oh, they got Kirk Cousins in free agency, thinking this is their quarterback. Everybody's thinking that Minnesota is going to be a Super Bowl contender team, but after a few games, a loss in Buffalo, it's kind of pretty much a questionable team. Although they're getting their defense back together and their offense is finally clicking, I'm still going to go with the Saints in this one because their offense is just so much chemistry they have. Drew Brees I think this is his year. Most likely, they do have a shot running all the way to the Super Bowl, but for this game, like I said, I'm going with the Saints, and it'll be a 28 to 21 game. It'll be by a touchdown that the Minnesota Vikings will lose to. And for Monday night, it will be New England Patriots against the Buffalo Bills. And in my opinion, I think that Tom Brady will be always Tom Brady, although this ageless wonder will always be shooting touchdowns to whoever he has in his team. And now with these new weapons that he required in the past weeks, I think they probably still could be contending for a Super Bowl, even at the age of 42. With that said, also with Buffalo having a rookie quarterback, still, questioning about whether coach decisions, the defense not staying together and all that. I say, of course, I'm going to give this one to the New England Patriots, and the final score will be, let's see, final score would be 25 to 17. And that is my wrap on Week 8. Thank you, and have a good day, everybody.